Why gold, silver, and copper are quietly taking over the global economy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going beyond the headlines, beyond the fear, beyond the noise, and straight into the silent financial shift taking place in real time. While the world is glued to politics, social media drama, inflation arguments, and whatever scandal dominates the news cycle, something far more important is happening behind the curtains. Gold, silver, and copper are rising for a reason. This is not hype. This is not a bubble. This is not an accident. It is the result of governments losing control, currencies losing trust, and nations repositioning themselves for a future where financial strength is measured not by promises, but by assets that cannot be printed out of thin air. Today's video will answer the most important questions. Why are central banks hoarding gold at record levels? Why is silver becoming the most undervalued industrial asset on Earth? Why is copper now the backbone of electrification, AI expansion, and economic survival? And most importantly, what does this mean for ordinary people? By the end of this video, one thing will be clear. This is not a gold rush, but a monetary transition, a shift away from financial fantasy and back toward economic reality. Part 1. The global reset in motion. To understand this rise in metals, we have to zoom out. The global financial system is not just strained, it is exhausted. For decades, economic growth has been propped up by debt, stimulus, cheap credit, and the belief that money printing has no consequences. But nature, mathematics, and history disagree. Key global pressure points include over $300 trillion in global debt, the U.S. federal debt exceeding $34 trillion and climbing every second, Europe battling energy instability, supply chain failures, and political fragmentation, China facing a property collapse and shrinking foreign investment, emerging nations breaking away from U.S. dollar dependency, the rise of BRICS, gold reserves, and non-dollar trade agreements. In the past, the world trusted the dollar because it was backed by gold. Today, the world trusts gold because it is no longer guaranteed by the dollar. When trust in currency fades, trust in metals rises. This is not speculation. It is a survival instinct. Part 2. Gold, the world's emergency exit. Gold is not rising because people want to get rich. Gold is rising because people want to not be poor. There is a difference. Why are governments buying gold? Why are central banks storing it like ammunition? Why is gold being repatriated, brought back home instead of stored abroad? Because gold represents sovereignty instead of dependency, insurance instead of speculation, stability instead of political risk, mathematical truth instead of financial fantasy. History speaks clearly. Every major empire that abandoned gold eventually fell. Every reserve currency in history has failed. Every fiat system ends the same way, in inflation or devaluation. Gold is not perfect, but it is honest. It cannot be printed, hacked, inflated, or controlled. It does not need a CEO, a board of directors, or a bailout. Gold is the asset nations run to when they stop trusting each other. You can freeze a bank account. You can cancel a payment platform. You can sanction a government, but you cannot cancel a bar of gold. When everyday investors buy gold, it's a trend. When billionaires buy gold, it's a strategy. When central banks buy gold, it's a warning. Part 3. Silver, the sleeping giant. Silver is the most misunderstood metal in the world. It is not just a precious metal, it is a critical industrial lifeline. Silver is required for solar energy and green power grids, electric vehicles and battery architecture, AI microprocessors and semiconductor manufacturing, medical instruments, satellites, aerospace, and defense systems, water purification, high-tech optics, and conductivity systems. Silver is both money and machinery, both history and future, both scarcity and necessity. For centuries, the gold-to-silver ratio averaged around 15 to 1. Today, it hovers near 70 to 1, proving distortion, not balance. Silver doesn't need hype to succeed. It needs reality to catch up. If industrial demand continues increasing and mining supply continues tightening, silver could become not just profitable, but essential. Silver is the only asset that can rise because of fear and rise because of progress at the same time. It wins when the system fails, and it wins when technology advances. Part 4. Copper, the power cable to the future. Copper is the opposite of panic. It is preparation. It is the metal of infrastructure, growth, and forward momentum. Every trend the future relies on runs through copper. Electric vehicles and global EV adoption mandates. Government-funded renewable energy expansion. AI data centers requiring massive energy consumption. Urbanization, development, housing, national grid upgrades. Robotics, automation, and advanced computing. Copper is no longer a commodity. It is policy-backed demand. Countries don't just want copper, they need it. Corporations don't just buy copper, they depend on it. Energy systems don't just use copper, they require it to exist. But here's the issue. Copper takes 10+ years to transition from exploration to production. Permits take years. Environmental regulations slow expansion. Mining resources are aging. New mining locations face geopolitical instability. Demand is rising faster than supply can respond. That is not a market spike. That is a structural shortage. Part 5. What this means for regular people. Most people only learn about economic transitions in history books, when it's already too late to react. Today, we are watching one happen in real time. This does not mean panic. This does not mean fear. This does not mean sell everything and buy metals. It means diversification. It means financial maturity. It means understanding that no system lasts forever, and this one is showing cracks. People who prepare early don't panic later. People who diversify don't collapse with the system. People who think ahead don't get trapped in reaction. You don't need to be rich to protect yourself. You just need to be early. Part 6. Winners and losers in the metals era. Winners. Those who hold assets, not promises. Nations with resources instead of debt. Individuals who hedge instead of hope. Investors who position themselves before confirmation. Losers. Those who believe old systems never fail. Those who trust politicians more than mathematics. Those waiting for permission to protect themselves. Those who think preparation is fear instead of intelligence. Gold whispers truth. Silver signals change. Copper builds the next chapter. This is not the end of the world. It is the end of an era. Conclusion. If this video opened your eyes, like, comment, and share. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Is this a warning, a transformation, a reset, or a return to financial reality? Thank you for watching. Stay prepared, stay aware, stay ahead. Don't follow the news, follow the signals. This is Felix. See you next time.